Hi, sixth graders. Today we are going to be learning all about ratios. So we are starting our journey in our ratio chapter 3 and learning about rates and ratio. But first, before we learn about how to make ratios, we need to know what is a ratio. What is it? What do we know about ratios? So we're going to start first with the definition of a ratio. So a ratio is a comparison. So it's comparing two or more quantities. So it's a comparison of two or more quantities. So like we can compare things. Let me do this right here. So a ratio is a comparison to quantities. Okay, so let's talk about the different types of ratios that we can write. You can write ratios as a part to part. So we can compare one part of something to another part of something. We can compare a part to a whole. So a part of something to the whole something. We can also compare a whole to a part. So like the total of something to just one little part. So the ways that we write ratios, so these are the types right here. So these are the types. And the way that we write ratios, we can write them as with the word to. You can write it with a colon, or you can write it as a fraction, like A over B. So you can write it as A to B, A colon B, or A over B. And remember that those letters represent something different. So let's look at what this actually means. So let's do an example of cats and dogs. So let's say that I have 2 cats. So let me draw you some cats over here. So I'm going to draw 2 cats. Okay, so there's a cat, and let's say I have another cat right here. Okay, so I have 2 cats. Now let's say that I also have 6 dogs. So I'm going to draw you 6 dogs. So go ahead and draw out some dogs. One dog. Okay, and here is another dog. So just quickly draw out some dogs. We want 6 of them. Here is another dog. Doesn't matter if they're all the same. Just get them. Oh, that looks like a mouse. That's still a dog. Okay, and here's another dog. It still looks like a mouse. Their ears are crazy. Okay, that's only 5 dogs. I need one more dog. There's an ear. Okay. That one kind of looks like a koala bear. Okay, so I have my dogs drawn, and I have some cats. So now we're going to talk about how to read ratios. Okay, so there are some words that we can use for these animals here. Okay, so I can look at this pile of animals and I can say I have 2 cats to 6 dogs. So 2 cats to 6 dogs. And I can look at this and I can say 1, 2 cats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dogs, right? I can also look at this and I can say that I have 1 cat for every 3 dogs. So the ratio of cats, I have 1 cat and 3 dogs. 1 cat and 3 dogs. So I could say for every 1 cat, there are 3 dogs. I could also say that there are 3 dogs per 1 cat. So I'm doing a part for every part. Okay, so our clue word there is the word per. And then I could say that there are 3 dogs for each cat. For each being a clue word there that says, hey, you need to write a ratio. So these are like our clue words for ratios. There are 3 dogs out of every 4 pets. Ooh, I could compare it to a total. So like these are all pets, right? So I have 3 dogs out of 4 pets. So if I put these 4 pets in a pile here, 3 of them are dogs. I have 2 cats out of 8 pets. So 2 cats out of 8 pets. So all of these clue words here tell us that we are going to be creating ratios. So these clue words signal that you need to make a ratio. And your ratios that you can make, so here's some clue words. Your ratios that you can make are either going to be a part to a part, meaning a cat to dogs, those are the parts that are available. A part to a whole, so like 2 cats to 6 dogs, or a whole, meaning 8 animals. No, I'm sorry, part to whole. So 2 cats for 8 animals, and then a whole to a part would be 8 animals to like 6 dogs. So that is kind of the breakdown for clue words and what ratios can look like. Now we're going to do some work with how do you actually write them so that you can see the comparison. Okay, so let's do an example. We're going to draw the next things that we need for our ratios. Okay, so we're going to draw 6 pennies. And I'm just going to draw a circle with a P in it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then you need, we need 7 quarters. So we're going to draw 7 quarters. So a circle with a Q in it. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 quarters. Okay, and then last we need 3 penny. Oh no, not pennies, dimes. 3 dimes. So we're gonna draw 3 dimes. That's a really big dime. Okay, so I've got 3 dimes. All right, so I have this mess of money right here. And I'm going to now write ratios. So this next section is called writing ratios. So this is how we write ratios. And we're going to use this pile of money right here. Wouldn't it be cool if our money was like actually all those fun colors? Okay, so example A. Example A. We want a ratio of pennies to quarters. So they want us to write a ratio of pennies to quarters. So our job is to first look for the pennies because pennies comes first. So we're going to come over here and we're going to count up how many pennies there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies. So I'm just going to write the number 6. There are quarters next. So we need to look for how many quarters there are. So we're going to next count up the quarters. And we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarters. So we could write this as 6:7. We could write it as 6 with the word 2, 7. Or you could write it as 6/7. All of these work as ratios as long as the pennies is first and the quarters is second. So pennies first, quarters second. Pennies first, quarters second. Pennies first, quarters second. This is an appropriate ratio for pennies to quarters. Okay, let's do another example. Let's write one that is looking for quarters to dimes. So we're going to look for quarters to dimes. So quarters to dimes. So we're doing a comparison of quarters and dimes. So quarters are green, so we're going to do quarters first. Count up those quarters again. We know that there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So quarters first, and we're looking for quarters to dimes. So we're going to, dimes were purple, so I'm going to count up those dimes. 1, 2, 3 dimes. This ratio right here shows quarters to dimes. You could also write it as quarters : dimes, 7 quarters, 3 dimes, or you could write it as 7/3. All of these mean the exact same thing as long as quarters came first, dimes came second. Okay, the last example I want to show you is dimes to total coins. So now we're going to look for dimes to the total coins. Okay, so dimes to total coins. That says dimes. Okay, so dimes goes first. There are 3 of them. To total coins, there are 1, 2, so let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 total coins. You could also like double count that if you wanted to. Total coins, let's just go ahead and write it as that. So total coins, I said there were 16. So we could write it as a fraction. You could write it as with a colon, 3:16. Or last, you could write it as 3:16. Okay, it is your turn for a try it. We're going to do 2 try its. So your first try it is looking for dimes to pennies. So you are looking for dimes to pennies. That is try it number 1. And then try it number 2 wants quarters to total coins. So quarters to Total. So quarters to total coins. All right, hit pause right now so you don't hear me talking and showing you how to do this. And then when you are all done, go ahead and hit play again. All right, so my first thing is dimes. I'm going to count up the dimes. There's 1, 2, 3 dimes. 2 pennies. How many pennies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies. So I could have 3 colon 6. I could have 3 over 6, or I could have 3, 2, 6. All of those work. I'm sorry that my stuff is so squishy right now. Okay, and now I'm doing quarters to the total. Quarters to the total. So quarters, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 comes first. So 7, 2. We knew over here that it was 16. Let's double count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you could have 7 to 16, 7 over 16, or the last ratio, 7 to 16. Okay, all of those types of ratios work. You only have to write one. You don't have to write all 3. All right, 6th graders, it is now time for you to answer your essential question. So find a spot on your paper here and answer this essential question. How do you make a ratio? So I'm gonna put it over here on this page. So answer your essential question. How do you make a ratio? How do we make ratios? And then tell me your rating out of 3. 3, I can count and put things in the correct order. 2, I just need a little bit more practice with making sure that I'm lining up the numbers and the correct words. Or 1, I don't know, Miss Englander. I'm going to go back and rewatch this video. I'm going to go and ask some questions in the Google Meet. Just make sure that you give me your rating, okay? All right, 6th graders, as always, thank you so much for all of your hard work, and make it a great day the Cougar way.